Afternoon and welcome to the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District Board meeting of Wednesday, the 6th of November. There is no public comment at this point, so we will close to go to closed session, and we'll report back at 5:30.
All clear. fun in your life.
Good evening and welcome to the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District Board meeting of, November 6th. The board did meet in closed session with no reportable action. At this point, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Sarah, do you feel like starting us off this afternoon? Sure. Thank you for that. Let's see. Superintendent Kramer, is there any changes to the presented agenda?
No changes, President Diller.
Right. Thank you for that. Would there be a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Marvelous. At this point, we have 7.0 is public comment, and that is an opportunity for our public to speak at our dais is up here. The time limit is 3 minutes, and I have 2 so far. If anyone else would like to speak, there are forms in the back to fill out. And the first person will be, is it Ally Scott? Is that Allie? I didn't know how many I's and L's were there. Thanks, Allie.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. My family has had kids. Oh, my name is Eiley Scott. I am a junior at Truckee High School right now. All right. My family has had kids in this school district for the last 20 years. My 3 older cousins all went to Truckee Elementary, ACMS, and then Truckee High. My sister graduated from Truckee High last year, and I will do the same less than 2 years from now. This town and these schools mean so much to me, and my sister and I have dedicated ourselves to making sure they have a future. Nearly 2 years ago, Kira stood where I am standing now and proposed a comprehensive, meticulously researched, student-written resolution to electrify our school district. Since then, the Cincinnati Public School District, Tucson, Arizona School District, and numerous other districts have adopted similar resolutions also proposed by students. I sincerely believe that TTUSD can do the same before I graduate. We have the motivation. With the addition of Sustainability Manager Erica Mertens, we have the expertise and the personnel, and we have the resources at our fingertips. For the next 4 years, the federal government will not protect us and our planet's future. Rather, they have pledged to move us in the wrong direction. It will be up to local governments and organizations to continue making change. People in power with the motivations and the resources within reach. People like you. So maybe it's time to get creative and find a way to move forward together. I get told a lot that I need to be more patient and that change comes slowly, but I think we can all agree that this change is a long time coming. This community has entrusted you with the responsibility of acting in the best interest of their children and the future, and I sincerely hope that you will do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie. We should, Eiley. I hope someone will send that to your sister. Hopefully she's watching. Thank you very much for that. And Liliana, is that, yes, there you are. I knew you were here. Liliana, you can introduce yourself as well.
Is this on? Okay. Hello, I'm Lillian Schnick, and I am a 12th grader at Truckee High School. I wanted to give an update on some of the stuff the Tahoe Youth Action Team has been doing, and one of those things that we're very proud of recently is hosting our second voter drive. We had one in the fall last year, and now we've had one in the spring too, and we are proud to say that we have gotten had well over 100 registrations from that, which we're very excited about. Thank you. And we hope to have a lot more successful ones in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. Is there any other public that would like to speak at this point? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. And now is the best part of the meeting. I'm going to turn it back over to Superintendent Kramer.
It is my pleasure to invite Principal Ryan Gallus of Truckee Elementary School up for the showcase.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name is Ryan Gallus, and I'm the proud principal of Truckee Elementary. Board President Driller, Chief Learning Officer Kramer, and board members, thank you so much for having us here tonight and allowing us to showcase our school. We're highlighting our multi-tiered systems of support and attendance improvements. But before we start with our presentation, I would like to introduce our brand new music teacher, Colleen McAdams, who has 6 awesome 5th graders who have been practicing the national anthem, and they recently performed at the first game of the Tahoe Night Monsters hockey team in South Lake Tahoe. So I'd like to bring up the 5th graders and Miss McAdams right now.
Ryan, you have no prayer, honey.
So, 5th graders, would you like to introduce yourselves for the board members?
Hi, I'm Zora Collins. I'm Gwen Terrell.
I am Alma Gomez.
I'm Leo Lerza.
I am Colin Garrettson.
I'm Leonie Kratzer.
And this is 6 of about, I think we had 11 or 12 who sang at the hockey game. Like Ryan said, this was the first hockey game that they ever had, this Tahoe Night Monsters team. So we got to sing the national anthem. Do any of you have a memory, like your favorite part of the game and the experience that you want to share?
Oh, I hate it.
Anyone? Remember that cool part at the beginning? Yeah, Zora, go ahead.
I remember the first goal they scored. It was amazing.
Awesome. 5th graders and Miss McAdams, thank you so much. You all can have a seat. Oh, yeah. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about multi-tiered systems of support at Truckee L. And multi-tiered systems of support are providing targeted supports to students in academics, social-emotional learning, behavior, and also some attendance supports. We break multi-tiered systems of support into 3 different levels. Tier 1, we hope, reaches between 75 and 90% of our students. Tier 2 is targeted supports for interventions that students need. It could be in small group form, but it typically targets between 10 and 25% of students. And then Tier 3 is more intense individualized support, so anywhere up to 10% of students could fall in that category. Some of the descriptors that I think really Truckee Elementary embodies are these with MTSS. Number one, data-driven decision-making. We are hyper-focused on data-driving decisions that we make, specifically with academics, but it also helps with behavior and social-emotional learning as well. Having universal screening and progress monitoring tools are another big key component of that. And I would say progress monitoring at Truckee Elementary is something that we take very seriously, and it's something that we're growing in that area as well. And then using evidence-based practices, so interventions that have been proven to work, not just something that we like doing or that we heard from a friend worked well or we find on Teacher Pay Teacher. These are something that we research and have proven to be effective with students. Collaborative problem solving, so this is another component where teachers, our intervention staff, and administrators work together to solve some of the learning issues that our students might have. We also, this is going to be a big growth area because we're part of the community engagement initiative. So involving our families in what we're doing, how students are making progress, that's a big component, and I think it's going to be growing in future years for us. Professional development is another area that we want to support our teachers, whether they've been trained in things like letters and dibbles or not. We want to make sure that it's brought back every year, and when we get new teachers and staff on board, we have amazing teachers like Katie Old who help bring our teachers on board. So these are some of the areas that I think really stand out for Truckee Elementary in terms of multi-tiered systems of support. Number one is academics. Number two, behavior, social emotional learning, attendance. We also have some systems that help support our students and our staff in each of these areas. Number one, our student study team, where we convene a meeting with all the major players in a child's life to figure out what are the strengths and challenges, and what's the new path going to be for our students. We have a coordinated care team where we have our psychologists, our counselors, our wellness coordinators, and administrators come together to focus on individual either behavior or social-emotional learning needs. We also have, before it comes to a school attendance review board meeting, small meetings with families, and Sarah DePrincio does an amazing job, and she'll talk about some of those supports at the end of our presentation today. Another key feature of what makes multi-tiered systems of support work at Truckee L is progress monitoring. We need to know that the interventions that we're doing are working for our students. So we do regular checks of learning and understanding to see, is this working, and do we need to make any tweaks along the way? And then one of the things we're really excited about as well is the community engagement initiative. Sarah and I got brought on board this year, and it's really exciting work because I think it's less directed to our families and from the school, here are all the things that you need to do, and it's more listen and learn. Let's find ways that we can work together to help our students be successful. Focusing on some of our academic supports, the first thing is to have excellent first instruction. We want to make sure that whatever program we're using, our first instruction is some of our best instruction. We've tweaked our Walk to Learn model to now be language and literacy time. So when you visit us on Friday, we're going to do some language and literacy time tours through some of our classrooms. And we changed our focus because we've had an issue with long-term ELs at Truckee Elementary, and we want to accelerate language growth for our students. We want our English learners to be successful adults, and we need to have them be successful in their language proficiency. So that's one of our main drivers with our shift in focus. Dibbles, as we talked about, a universal screener has been a great tool for us, specifically focused on language arts. As we get deeper into our math adoption, math could be another area of focus for us in future years. We do targeted instruction at student level, so whether students are below grade level, at grade level, or above grade level, we have supports for them at each stage of their learning. And to me, I think this is the highest level of being a professional learning community. We collaborate around this, and I have to tell you, in 25 years of education, this is the second year, last year being the first, that I've ever had a school site that has trusted each other enough that has been willing to work with each other enough and collaborate and share students in a systematic way like this. I think what we are doing is really special, and not all schools are able to get to this. So it reflects on the work of Sarah Colburn before me and the teachers, but I think this is awe-inspiring work. And again, this is some of the pinnacles of my career, being able to be a part of this. And we're also doing a Morning Boost before school intervention program, which it's small. We have about 5 teachers and 30 students participating in it, but it's something that can grow, and it's an excellent use of our focused Title I funds. Social emotional learning, we also take a tiered approach to that. Number one, we apply our best practices, classroom meetings, community circles, all of those strategies, as well as a new program that we brought in this year, Toolbox. And we also have Second Step that we use. Our Tier 2 level for social emotional learning is our skills groups, working with our wellness coordinator, working with our school counselor. This is a chance for kids to get skills that they may not have, and teachers identify who should be part of these social skills based on some of the observations that they have. And then on the Tier 3 level, we have individualized support as well. And we also use the DESA screener that helps us drill down what are the areas that kids need to focus on, and also helping students identify who are the adults that are impactful in your life. So establishing those caring connections so we can make sure that for every one of our students, we can match them with a caring adult. So if there's something that's going on in their life, somebody who's got an impact with them more than just their classroom teacher. So somebody that they can go to in times of trouble. This is our coordinated care team. We took the picture this morning, and I don't know if we're laughing or crying or somewhere in the middle, but this is one of the more exciting teams that we have on campus, and it really is a team composed of taking away barriers for our students. So with that, I'm going to bring up Sarah DiPrinzio, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we approach behavior and attendance.
This way, right?
It's that one.
Oh, great. We're just going back. So this is what all behavior at all times looks like at Truckee. Good? No. This is, it always looks perfect in every classroom every time I walk in. It's shocking. This is our tiered approach to behavior. Sorry. I forgot. Thank you, Dee Dee. Go like this. Smooth operator status. Just let me slide it on over. So this is our tiered systems of approach with behavior when it comes to Truckee Elementary. And I don't know that we're any different than any other school in the district, but I do have to say I think one thing that we have done in adopting our MTSS approach to academics, behavior, and social emotional things is that we tried to tie all of those things into each of our tiers. And so you'll see some common themes in our academics, you'll see common themes in our social emotional, and you'll see common themes in behavior and in attendance. So our universal strategies that we use things that, those are things that all kids get, right? Like everybody gets it no matter what. So you'll see Second Step, you'll see Toolbox, you'll see Check-in, Check-out, you'll see behavior check-in, support from admin. That's why they look like that. You'll see us using our wellness centers. Truckee L really dove full into a trauma-informed care approach prior to COVID, actually. But then we saw a lot of things that came out of that, and then the need to continue doing that. So those are our Tier 1 supports when it comes to behavior. Tier 2, or what we call Tier 1 plus, which means you get all those things. Oh man, I'm clicking buttons. Ed, help me. Which means they get all those things underneath plus more. So in those things, you'll see like a more formalized check-in, check-out, which means that there's like actually a little paper and there's a whole system that goes along with it. You'll see group social emotional lessons. You'll see minor referrals. That's the wah-wah. You ended up in Mr. Prinzio's office. But you'll also things like restorative conversations, restorative community circles within our classrooms. Our Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports are very similar, and so those are admin and parent conversations. Those are what we call a major referral, which is usually where we're starting to look at the students doing something over and over again, and we have to have bigger conversations. And then what I call the Tier 4 at Truckee L is the like really big mistake that we have made, and that would be things like suspension, removal of preferred activities. Those things are guided by our board policy and California Ed Code. And by the time a student gets to that, we have exhausted the efforts below. At Truckee, I think one of the things that we take super seriously is that we don't take a student out of a classroom or out of the playground without there being a reason that we have to do that. We work with families and students on every other possible solution besides that. And then when we're made to, we have to. I will not bore you with our attendance data, although I do love it. But you will see a pretty positive trend over the last 2 years. And if we had added data in here before, which would be 21, 22, you would see a real positive trend because that was like during the tail end of COVID and everybody was gone. So if you add that in, it looks really good. But you'll see that we over time have made a pretty positive progression in all areas. Part of that, if I'm being super honest and humble, is from the program we have here, which is now called Attend, or A2A, which is a program Anna Marie brought to the assistant principals 2 years ago that we've now been using. This is our second full year of using it. The program is super helpful and does a lot of amazing things. If you have been on the receiving end of a letter of that, I am so sorry. They are not kind. But they are super informative, and it really nails it with how important it is for your student to be in school. From those, we get these buttes, which are attendance letters by type. And so you will see that on this side of the scale, our excessive excused absence letters, we sent 256 of those babies. And essentially what that is a parent calls their student in sick for an excessive amount of time. So it starts at 5 and then it goes to 10 and then it's anything over 10. So you'll see 256 and then only 97 students got sent letter 2. Which is truly amazing. Oh, don't look at yourself on that TV, DeFrenzio. It's truly amazing. You'll also see that truancy 1 letter, so that is 3 unexcused absences. That was 151 students. We sent truancy letter 2 to only 60, which is fantastic. That third spot where you see letter 3, those are students that even after interventions, we still continue to see a pattern of missed attendance for either excessive excused absences or for truancy. And so those students, we sent 21 letters. And if I remember correct off the top of my head, and I should have double checked this, we brought 8 families from those particular letters to what's called the Student Attendance Review Board. So if you're really looking at that trajectory, we really were taking it down quite quickly. This is last school year. Yeah. We have only sent 3. Attend is 2 weeks behind. So we have only sent just this week our 3rd set of overall letters. I have conferenced, which you'll see here. So when a student gets their 2nd letter, the program automatically triggers a conference. I have conferenced with 7 families already this year. Most of those, if I'm telling the truth, I'm trying to get ahead of A2A telling me that I have to conference with them. So I'm trying to kind of keep ahead of the system. I love it. The 2-week lag time is a little bit hard for just my perfectionist personality of like, but I know you're not here. And so I'm meeting with them sooner than A2A tells me I have to. But you'll see on this graph from last year, and it would be the same if I have to be honest about this year, the red side of the graph is before a student had a conference or before a family had a conference. The bar is like once I met with them. And then the green graph on the other side is their attendance over time after the conferences.
So are a lot of these new families to you? These are, okay, just cooking. Yep, okay. Sorry.
They're ones we know well. Some of them, if I'm being super honest and not looking at the Carr family over here, some of them are younger families, right? Like they're the ones that are new to TTUSD overall. They have like kindergartners, TKs, and they're learning our attendance processes as we go. And that's where I think some of A2A or that data can be a little bit skewed, right? Because if you have a kindergartner, it's the first time they've ever been in school, they're going to get sick. Like we all know that. We've all sat in that shoe. It's those conversations of like, yes, they get sick, but still bring them to school once they start feeling better. Like we're not going to keep them at home. But I would say these conferences and those 21 letters, those are families that have been in our system for time. I'm sure there's a song that Ryan Gallus knows. So this is our current attendance data. So we have a 95% attendance rate in September and a little bit over 95% in October. We're hoping to maintain a 95% rate for November. Things do get wonky once we start adding in breaks and things like that, but we're super hopeful that we're on the right trajectory. And the feedback from families so far has been very positive about just having that information, especially those letters that come out from the district, just on how important school attendance really is. And we're seeing the positive impacts with how successful students are when they're in the seats. There you go.
Thank you. Sarah, that was awesome. So in closing, I just want to say how much word is out about Truckee Elementary. We are making positive changes in students' lives. We're changing community perceptions. We're doing it with diversity. We're doing it by bringing our parents in as partners. We're doing it by having our teachers work collaboratively at a very high level. And we're doing it all the while we're having fun and building community amongst each other and with our families. So I'm extremely proud of what I've shared with you and can't wait for our visit on Friday. And I'm just very happy again and proud to be the principal at Truckee Elementary. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you very much for that. You have a lot going on this week. We got you today, and then this is good. Little pressure.
So much going on this week.
A lot of pressure. Board, do you have any comments?
I have a couple questions.
Questions. Okay, Ryan, there you are.
That was a great presentation. The absentee data is really remarkable. It's really great, and all the different skills you have for the different tiers. That's quite a slide of information. But I did want to ask: Do you have any students that are on independent study contracts, and is that included in the absentee data?
Yes. Yes, we do. So the way that, I'm going to see if I can get this right, and Kirsten will, of course, correct me if I'm wrong. The way that independent study data is reported out to the state is a little bit differently, from my understanding, than, say, like an excessive excused absence. So those, if you turn in your independent study contract on time, within 5 days of the end of your contract, those days get marked, I forget the code, but those days essentially get marked as independent study complete. Independent study complete counts as a student being in the seat even though they were not there. If you don't turn in your independent study within those 5 days, it gets marked as student independent study incomplete, which then does get reported as an excused absence. Unexcused absence. So it would show under the truancy side of those letters. We at Truckee L started really honing in on saying no to families that are an attendance issue with independent study contracts, and so then we would just see them leave anyway, and then they go on that slide anyway. But they won't be reported if they turn in their work. They only get reported if they don't. But we track that data, like how many days out of the class students are missing, pretty significantly, because independent study contracts are not the same thing as a student being in the seat. And we see that impact as well.
Okay, wait, I have one more. Can you give me an example of a toolbox support?
Oh, can I give you I didn't bring my keys, Pat Mooney. Yes, I can, actually. I'm going to ask you to participate in this. The one that I can think of off the top of my head is the ruler. So if you would please take one hand on this side and pinch your claws on this side, and you're going to breathe in, take your ruler out, and breathe out. And we're going to do it again. In and out. And the idea of a ruler or a measuring tape is like the symbol of the toolbox, is to prompt students to go ahead and take like deep breaths. Another one is the level, I believe, is the empathy tool, where it teaches students to place themselves into somebody else's shoes, and it talks about if I can walk in your shoes and think about what you're going through, then I'm able to better understand where you're coming from. There's like the heart tool, where it's about listening and being able to like listen with a full heart and like understand. And those tools actually really nicely dovetail into our restorative conversation. So you'll see some similar things like on restorative posters, like Truckee High, I know, has them out. So you'll see those, and they kind of like dovetail into a toolbox.
Very clever. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thanks for the great presentation and to all of our singers that were up here. That was awesome. It's so fun when we get the spotlights, and I think it's my favorite part. I say that every time. And in part because you just get such a good glimpse of what's happening within each school and how each school is kind of adapting to their individual communities. And it's nice that there's flexibility for different approaches, which and everyone has different tools, and I love hearing about those. So I'm excited to go on Friday to see in person too. So that'll be really fun. So thanks.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you on Friday. And I want to thank all of our community teachers, students, and families for being here.
Chris? Kirsten? Thank you. I one quick question. The early morning sessions, is there a bus that comes out in early, or are these kids on their own getting here?
It's both. So
Okay.
we're lucky because we have a lot of programs going on at our school site. So we've leveraged the preschool bus that gets there by 8 a.m.
Yep.
We can't make new routes, but we can leverage the ones that we have. And our kids that have ridden on those buses, they've had impeccable behavior, and our youngest students really look up to them, and it gets them to school on time. Ashley Perkins is actually one of our teachers, along with Katie Old, Marguerite Paris, Denise Paquette. Yeah, so it's awesome. And then there are parents who love the opportunity, if their kids are chosen to be part of it, to drop them off at 8 o'clock. So
Yep.
we have a little bit of both.
Awesome. Thank you for being first. I know it's always a little tough to be the first man out, but then you're done. Like you don't, now you, you're,
Wednesday free.
so you guys can do, it doesn't matter what you do for the rest of the year. So that is awesome. I'm psyched. Bang that one right out. But thanks, really, it was awesome. As Danielle said, bringing the kids is like, it's a tough act to follow. But, and I can't tell you how much it was fun watching them just look at their teacher. Oh my goodness. That was awesome. So well done, and thank you very much. And thanks for, again, I love having the parents come for something besides, a controversial discussion or something. So that's great.
I do too.
Yeah. Oh, totally fun. Thanks for turning that off. Thank you so much, you guys. That was awesome. Jess, good to see you. Moving on, that was lovely. Not to be outdone, we have our high school students. Let us give those people a chance to come out, and then let's start with North Tahoe High School. Val and Camilla.
Good evening, board. Is it on? Yeah? Okay. Good evening, board members, and thank you for having us. We are honored to be here today as the North Tahoe High School student representatives. My name is Valerie Laguna.
And my name is Camila Martinez.
So we've had a very busy and exciting month of October, and we're eager to share some of the highlights with you guys today.
First, we hosted our PSAT for our students, providing an essential opportunity for academic growth and preparation.
This year's homecoming theme was Enchanted Garden, and it was a huge success with a great turnout. And Project Red was able to fundraise by selling snacks at the event, contributing to a strong start for their efforts this year.
We kicked off the year with our first rally, which was filled with high energy and school spirit. We had interactive games involving the teachers and students, making it fun and engaging experience for everyone.
Our annual Halloween competition was a hit, with the seniors taking first place with the Coraline theme display. The creativity and enthusiasm was truly impressive.
We had our first and only home football night game, and we'd like to extend a special thank you to Core Construction for generously donating the lights, allowing us to enjoy a fantastic evening under the snow.
In preparation for the presidential election, our teacher, Ms. J, hosted an election party which was well attended and gave students a space to engage with the political process.
Our fall concert was a great success, and we are incredibly proud of our band and their outstanding performance. The event was really well attended and showcased the talent and dedication of our students.
Dedication also because some of them dress up in like full decked out Halloween costumes for it and still perform so good. Our fall sports season wrapped up with some exciting victories. The girls golf team won state championships, and both our boys and girls cross country teams brought home state championships as well. And our boys soccer team is heading to the state finals this weekend.
As we transition into winter sport teams, we have already started conditioning practice, and we're looking forward to the seasons ahead.
Looking ahead, we also have some exciting events on the calendar, including Elegant Affair fundraiser to support our Boosters program.
Before we finish, we want to highlight an opportunity to support Project GRAD. We are currently selling pies and a wreath as a part of our fundraising efforts. Any contributions are greatly appreciated.
We're selling apple pies, pumpkin pies, and pecan pies, and they're really good. Well, Ms. Mitchell says they're really good. Thank you for having us. As always, it is a pleasure to emphasize and recognize our students and staff's accolades with you all to celebrate the school spirit that makes North Tahoe such a unique place.
Don't leave.
Yes.
Elegant Affair is when?
I really don't know.
It's like a
Sorry?
15th?
Yeah, I think it's Friday. Like
22nd?
22nd, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's really fun. Well, the adults say it's really fun. Oh, well.
I told them I'd volunteer to work. I just remember when I'm going. And then, what was the other question? How do you get the pies?
Oh, so we're actually getting them from Apple Hill, and Miss Mitchell, she's graciously and very kindly, but also because she's a senior parent, she's getting them from Apple Hill, and we're taking the orders, like the seniors are taking the orders, and then she brings them to us, and then we deliver them.
And you guys have that on your website?
Yeah.
Perfect. Good effort. Okay, that's good. Those are things you got to sell when you're on the podium. Awesome.
Okay,
All right,
so
thanks
thank you
guys
so
very
much. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Up next, we have Sierra High and Coldstream, but Quinn Holen. Thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent Kramer, members of the board, and members of the cabinet. My name is Quinn Holen, and I'm an 11th grade student with Coldstream Alternative. There have been a lot of positive things going on with our alternative programs so far this school year. To start things off, the Truckee River program continues to partner with the Truckee Makerspace Roundhouse this school year. Students are already working on welding projects, textiles, ceramics, and woodworking jobs. The students truly appreciate learning new skills. The Truckee River program visited Truckee Meadows Community College in Reno, where students participated in a college tour and campus orientation. The students learned about college life and what it takes to attend college. The trip was very beneficial, and many students showed interest in attending TMCC after high school. The Truckee River program participates in many community service activities. Students have been volunteering at the Humane Society, where they help with the socialization of the animals. Students also volunteer in the local community garden, where they help with cleanup, landscaping, and caring for the grounds. Overall, the students find these activities very therapeutic and enjoyable. The Sierra High School students participated in a wellness day with Gateway Mountain Center. Students worked on mindful cooking, where they made personal pizzas with the support of a chef and staff. The students had a great time. For the next 6 weeks, Sierra High School students will be participating in wellness activities with Gateway Mountain Center. These activities allow students to learn about their own mindfulness and personal wellness. Sierra High School partnered with Cast Hope, a local nonprofit organization focusing on fly fishing with a social-emotional twist to the sport. Students learned the basics of fly fishing, river ecology, and team building, and had fun doing a new activity with their peers. The students just finished the first quarter strong by getting all of their credits and passing grades. We're looking forward to many learning opportunities for the next quarter. Next week, Sierra High School and Coldstream Alternative will be holding their credit update nights. Credit update nights are equivalent to parent and student conferences. It's a time where staff reviews students' credits, grades, attendance, and overall performance at school. We look forward to these updates, and it allows us to showcase the amazing work students are doing while reviewing student progress and ways to help students be successful. That's it for tonight. Thank you.
Man, nice work. That was a lot. Thank you for showcasing all your schools. That was well, yes, Chris.
What I heard in your presentation is the new collaboration between the, I'm going to mess it up, Truckee River program and our partners. And once that school became part of our district is when I saw that happening, and also under your leadership, Mr. Santos. So I'm just really happy that you highlighted that, because those students are well deserving of all the opportunities, just like our mainstream high schools and Sierra High School has had. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for that, Chris. And Truckee High, Kai, Maddie, and Mia.
Can I have that? Thank you. My name is Kai Kornicki, and these are the October events for Truckee High. October is the best month of the year. We have so many great events. So homecoming was this month. We had historic attendance at this homecoming and the Friday Night Light game. Thank you so much for all the community support we got there. It was super awesome. And we've started to use student DJs for the dances. Instead of calling in other people, we've had students who are musically adept perform at the games and dances, and it's been awesome. Next, we have sports. So just like North Tahoe, our boys and girls cross country, they both won state championships. That's the first double state championship in our school's history. Tennis and girls golf won first in states, or girls golf won second, and our football team is on a 32-game win streak. They're unbeatable. Girls soccer is advancing to states, and boys soccer made it to a regional championship, and so did volleyball. Our academic state championships, first place, girls tennis has 3.8, girls soccer almost 3.8, football 3.6, and second place, boys cross country with 3.8, and girls cross country with 3.7. We recently did an elementary school visit as a leadership class. We all went together to tell them all about Halloween safety, which was super awesome. And it's been a part of our community outreach program, which is a big part of our leadership class. We've just been going about and just trying to get Truckee High involved with the community more, and we had a super fun time there. The kids were great. And then we had our Halloween rally. The Halloween rally is the biggest rally of the year. It's the most hyped. It was Minion themed this year, which was super awesome. It was right during midterms, which was great to break up that super stressful time and go to something that is so much fun. And it was awesome. It had super high student participation, and especially rallies this year have just been super school spirited. Mia?
Okay, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Mia Bilvery. I'm a sophomore, and I'm the sophomore class president, and I'm also the lead of community outreach. This year we started, hopefully the first annual, do I have to click it on here? Okay. The first annual safe trick-or-treat. So we had kids from all ages and abilities in the community come and trick-or-treat in our school, and we had a community service opportunity to set up for this, which was really exciting, and we had so much positive feedback, and all of the families that attended said that they loved it and they want to see it the coming years. And then we have our canned food drive, and we're on track to have over 500 items for donation, and we're finding ways to incorporate this into our classrooms and have prizes in our SS classes for the classes that donate the most canned foods. We also did our ALICE training recently, and it empowers us to make smart and safe decisions under pressure. We incorporated this during our extended SS periods, so we had a lot of time for students to ask questions and actually participate, which was really exciting. So short.
Hi, I'm Maddie Sloan. I'm a member of Community Outreach. So we just did our annual blood drive, or we're doing it on November 20th. So this is the QR code that you can use to make an appointment. We'll have kids come down to the gym, and you have to be 16 years and older, but kids will donate blood, and it's a super cool way to get our school involved in the community and making a difference. We also just started doing Staff of the Month and Student of the Month because we want to celebrate individuals more this year at THS. So each month we'll select a student and a staff and put their name on a board in the front office. They also get a gift from Wally the Wolverine and a video about how much they are appreciated or why they were selected on our Instagram account. And the nominations are sent out and open to students and staff to fill out. And it's a super cool way to appreciate and highlight students and staff in our school. And that is it for tonight. But thank you so. Oh. Okay, so just kidding. For our college and career prep, we have A through G counselors that are taking students. I actually just went on one today, so this is perfect. I went to Davis. It was a really cool trip. I went with about 60 other kids. I got a tour of the campus and a 30-minute presentation about different areas and learned a little bit more about the whole campus and everything about that. This is a picture at the top is actually of the class today. We're also working with mentorships and local organizations such as the hospital, construction, the airport, and the town of Truckee to get students involved in the community and to help them kind of integrate into different places that they might want to study when they do go to college or when they need to pick a career. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. We always enjoy coming here and talking about Truckee and the different things that are coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for switching it up with a little performance there on the screen. That was very nice. Any comments from you guys? No, that was awesome. You guys, thank you. So the reason you guys were able to win in Truckee and Tahoe was able to win is because we're in different conferences. So when are we going to do like the Truckee Tahoe competition? Yeah, we might have to work on that. We'll have purple outfits. Purple outfits. Oh my gosh, thank you guys, that was great. Thank you, thank you. That was too funny. So with that, we will move quickly on to Superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Driller. Tonight, I'm going to focus in on the academic achievement portion of our district strategic plan. And our priority in this area is providing high-quality professional development for our staff and collaboration time so that they can continue to grow and develop in their careers. And it's all of our staff. It's our classified and our certificated when we're thinking about offering professional development. And I'm excited to share that last Friday we had a no school day for students, but it was a paid day for our certificated staff, and then CSEA classified staff members were invited as an optional paid day. It was very successful. We had over 50 different sessions for staff to choose from. It included sessions on academic discourse for English learners and just for all students, getting them talking about what they're learning about. It included training on the new math curriculum or emotional intelligence or outdoor education and so on. The list was really very comprehensive. And then at the end of the day, all teams and departments had time, up almost 2 hours of collaboration time. And so far, the feedback has been great. One teacher in a follow-up survey said, "This session was fun and engaging, and I've got some new activities I'm going to try in my class next week." And of course, that's what we love to hear, is when it was something very tangible and that our staff can take back and put into their work. We also heard from another staff member who said it was so valuable to have time to collaborate with the special education department and one of our program specialists. We're able to discuss important issues and possible solutions, which we normally don't have time to do. And the very best part, as you'll notice in most of these pictures, is that it is our very own talented TTUSD staff who were the teachers. So we have Dr. Dave Stakely, Principal Newberger in the middle there, and then that is the special ed team with Jessica Scott, program specialists. So it's really neat when our talented staff members are willing to share their expertise with one another. And of course, a big thank you to North Tahoe High and Middle Schools for hosting us And a huge shout out to Gregorio, Daniel, and their custodial team for getting this all set up, as well as Serge, Ed, and the tech team for supporting us throughout the day. And one of the sessions that's getting the most positive feedback is lunch. So Kat and Romy worked with Chef Tommy from Eats Company, and they provided this warm, delicious, healthy lunch with even gluten-free options. So it was a wonderful day, and we really were excited to have that time to collaborate and provide that professional development. And then one more quick reminder about our school safety information nights. As Truckee High talked about, we do use the ALICE protocol as a training for students and staff. And we will have law enforcement on the Truckee side, and then, of course, Placer County Sheriff on the Lakeside presentation. So those are next week, and everyone's invited to come learn more about our safety protocols. And that concludes my update.
Thank you very much for that, Superintendent. We were chuckling because we both looked at our calendars to make sure we had Alice on there. There's a lot going on. Before we go into the next item, I do want to just make a note that we did not mention the photos and the pictures that are on the wall, which I do believe are Truckee out. Yeah, so I do apologize for that, but there's a whole bunch of different mediums out here, so we always love it. So that's a lot of work for Truckee L, so apologize. And Lupita, probably. Did you have to put them all up?
And Natalie.
And Natalie. Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, lovely, lovely. So we will now move on to 11.0 donations. Superintendent Kramer.
Yes, thank you. Tonight I am presenting this to the board on behalf of the Early Learning and Student Services Department. The Tahoe Truckee Community Foundation has generously donated $1,000 to support the costs of the October 2024 Child Development Conference. The 21st annual conference was a great success with over 75 attendees. They received a keynote address from Rusty Keeler. He is an outdoor play enthusiast, and they participated in multiple workshop experiences for their little learners. It is staff's recommendation the board accept this donation from the Tahoe Truckee Community Foundation for $1,000.
Thank you for that. Are there any comments or questions from the board on that donation?
Thank you.
Thank you. I was unable to attend. Usually I attend that, but I did get a nice book from that conference from Cindy Maciel. So with that, would someone care to make a motion to approve 11.1? I'll make a motion to approve 11.1, the donation from Tahoe Truckee Community Foundation. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. 11.2, Superintendent Kramer?
Additionally, the County of Nevada generously donated $7,000 to help support the costs of the October 2024 Child Development Conference. The donation was used for conference supplies, including books and breakfast for the attendees. It is staff's recommendation the board accept this donation from the County of Nevada for $7,000.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, County of Nevada. Would anyone, questions or comments from the board? Someone like to make a motion on 11.2?
I'll move to accept the donation from the County of Nevada for Child Development Conference supplies.
I'll
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, thank you. And moving to 11.3?
For this item, we'll turn to our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Mrs. Shawn Roderick.
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer. Good evening, President Driller, the Board of Trustees, and community members. The Tahoe Forest Health System Foundation has generously donated $3,000 to the Truckee High School cheer team. This donation will provide matching cheer jackets for cold weather games. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees accepts this generous donation.
How many cheerleaders want more clothes on? Only in Tahoe do we need more clothes.
I disagree with that because I was a cheerleader in the Bay Area, and we definitely needed warm clothes.
Yeah.
You just do. But I hear what you're saying.
So
It's sort of
with
a funny thing.
Any questions or comments besides Danielle's input? And would you care to make a motion for that?
Sure. I'll make a motion to accept the donation from the Tahoe Forest Health System for Truckee High School cheer team.
Awesome. Second?
I'll second.
Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Moving quickly to 11.4. Thank you.
And for this item, we turn back to Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. The Stab family has generously donated $1,000 to the Fiber Arts Club at Truckee High School. The Fiber Arts Club teaches students valuable skills like knitting and crocheting, offering them a relaxing and productive alternative to screen time. The club has grown in popularity and contributes to the community through projects like the Caps for Chemo program. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees accepts this generous donation.
Thank you for that. Any comments or questions from the board? That's a great thing to know about the Fiber Arts Club, because I have a whole bunch of knitting needles that I might need to pass on. So excited. With that, would anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the donation from the Stab family for the Truckee High School Fiber Arts Club.
I'll second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. That's lovely. That's a lot of money right there. Moving on to 12.0.
Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. The Martis Camp Community Foundation has generously awarded a $14,000 grant for the Sage Hen Outdoor Education Program in the 25-26 academic year. The Sage Hen Outdoor Program within the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District is organized by the volunteer efforts of 2 retired 5th grade teachers. This is a unique outdoor education program for several reasons. Outdoor educators teach classes from the 2 local nonprofit organizations, Sierra Watershed Education Partnership and Tahoe Institute of Science. Classes may include local ecosystems, flora and fauna of the Sierra Nevada, water quality and issues, and plant and animal identification. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees accepts this generous grant for the Sage Hen Outdoor Education Program.
I'm still waiting for my invite to Sage Hen. I haven't gotten there yet. Any questions or comments? Would someone care to make a motion for the accept the grant?
I'll move to accept the grant from Martis Camp Community Foundation for Sage Hen Outdoor Education Program.
And a second?
I'll second it with a wow.
Yes.
That's very generous.
14,000, that's a lot. Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Moving to 13.0 resolutions. Superintendent Kramer.
For this item, we'll turn to our Executive Director of Human Resources, Mr. Michael Shepard.
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer, President Driller, members of the board, and the Tahoe Truckee community. For your consideration tonight, we have this resolution for Teresa Charter. As you know, she a recent retiree, and she would like to have the exemption for the 6-month wait-out period in order to come back and substitute. And we are always grateful for our retirees who wish to do that. So with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard. Are there any questions from the board? Besides, thank goodness that they want to do that. Anything else? Okay, with that, would anyone care to make a motion for Resolution 13?
I'll move to approve resolution number 13 for Teresa Charter and to thank her as well.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, and yes, definitely a big thank you to Teresa. And I'm happy for this resolution, opportunity so that we can do that, because that does help us get more staff back, but there's somebody that's right here in town, so that's wonderful. 13.2, Superintendent Kramer?
The next 2 items I'm presenting on behalf of the Student Services Department. The first one is Resolution 142425, National School Psychology Week, November 11th through 15th. During the week of November 11th through 15th, the National Association of School Psychologists and schools across the United States will celebrate school psychologists' contributions and their important role in schools and communities. National School Psychology Week is an annual opportunity to recognize school psychologists' work to help children thrive in school, at home, and in life. This year's theme, Spark Discovery, recognizes the work that school psychologists do to help their communities seek out new ideas, affect change, and expand horizons for children and youth. It is staff's recommendation that the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution 14, 2024-2025, National School Psychology Week, November 11th through 15th, 2024.
Thank you for that. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve Resolution number 14 for National School Psychology Week.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. And 13.3.
This resolution, 152425, authorizes the superintendent, myself, to sign the application for continued funding for the General Child Care and Development Program contract. TTUSD received initial funds last school year in 23-24 to expand the General Child Care and Development Program to full-day, full-year services in the STEP program. The funds provide direct services for eligible children. The application is for the 25-26 school year to help offset the full cost of the STEP program, funded through a partnership with Early Head Start. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees approve Resolution Number 152425.
Thank you for that. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a
Go ahead.
motion to approve resolution number 15.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you for that. Moving right to, thank you for all those resolutions. 14.0 is personnel. Superintendent Kramer?
Yes, Mr. Shepherd, please.
Thank you. Last year, you approved our MOU with CSEA for the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program. And just as a quick reminder, that program allows CSEA members who work less than 12 months to elect to have the district hold back a portion of their check each month, and then the state, in sometime after this fiscal year, probably August, will match it, not dollar for dollar. I believe this year it's about 93 cents. So it's a pretty good deal for classified employees. It's free money. And so in order for us to offer it so we're offering it now for this year, but we have to enroll people January 1st through February for the following school year. So we're seeking approval for this MOU in order for us to offer that to our employees.
Thank you for that information, and also it sounds like it's a good deal for our employees. Any comments or questions from the board? Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the memorandum with CSEA for the Summer Assistance Program.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, thank you. We have new people to talk. 15.0, Superintendent Kramer?
Yes, it's my pleasure to invite up our CSEA President, Melissa Cruz.
New people to speak. New talkers. New talkers.
Good evening, everybody. Cabinet, board. I'm Melissa Cruz, CSEA President. For our update tonight, things are going generally well. I feel the school year is really moving fast with no major issues other than it's moving too fast. Only 21 days till Thanksgiving, which is crazy. But who's counting, right? We had our first negotiations on October 18th. I would say that we had some really great conversations, and we listened really well to each other. Our hope is that we can settle on some things this Friday when we meet at our next session. I do want to acknowledge the board's role in negotiations and let you know we appreciate you guys. I know you aren't able to be at the table with us and to really hear what's happening in the trenches, for lack of better words. But things are really hard for our members right now with the increase of 12% for our benefits, along with everything else costing crazy amounts of money. So we thank you for being supportive and willing to negotiate. Really do. We had our first chapter meeting mid-October, and that was a turnout of 40 members, which was incredible. We had standing room only in the conference room A. We're seeing way more involvement and interest, which is great. We have 2 new members to join our comm committee. So hopefully they both show up tomorrow on time. And I'm sure they will. And I also had some great feedback from Classified regarding our PD Day on November 1st. They were super stoked about just the opportunity to join. We haven't had that in the past years, so and get paid for it, which was great. There were lots of different feedback on the classes, and because there were so many offered, there was not like loads of people in each session, which was really nice. You got more of a one-on-one. You could ask more questions. It was really cool. So, and it was, I mean, the ones I went to was the generational one, which was really cool. You learned about the different generations and why different students are possibly acting or, you know, working the way they're working, down to staff members and teachers, and it was very cool. So that was appreciated, and hoping that we can do it again. I don't know how many attended. That's why I asked, but I was curious. I didn't see a lot, but I saw quite a few. So, but that's all I have for tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. That was good to hear. The numbers, like your increasing numbers of everything is great. Like having more people at your meeting and then having people come to the comm and then just having more people talk is great. So good job. Moving on to 15.2, Superintendent Kramer.
It is my pleasure to invite up our TTA President, Erin Lefevers.
Good evening. It's my first board address for this year. Woo-woo. With volleyball, I'm still representing the cross-country team. We go pink. A tradition started way back when with Warren Mills's youngest daughter, his only daughter. She demanded pink shorts for state championship, and so it is a tradition on there. It was a tight one for our boys. Our girls were dominant. So good evening. Welcome to fall. It is a little chilly out there. We made it through October. And as from the teaching standpoint, October is like 3 months in one. It's just a slog. It's going fast, college applications, all that happening. And it feels like when it finally hits November 1st, it's like, oh my God, it's only November. Okay, here we go. But then the world seems to speed up on us. We got mixed feedback from the PD, mostly positive. They like the opportunity to come together. They like the choices. It was just a hard day for high school, because Truckee High was finishing a semester, we were finishing a quarter, and everybody had papers and stuff. But that's the only thing that's come my way, which I think is doable. We had a lot of fun. It was nice hearing the gals speak about it. The hallway decorating competition this year was probably the best I've seen our kids do. I had to walk through The Shining to get to my classroom, which was a little creepy, but I got to. But the other sites are all wrapping up. They did their walkathons. We've had fall concerts. We've had shows. I think I'm doing my granddaughter's show next week after. So all kinds of fun stuff happening with fall. It's the homecomings. Everything is a lot of fun this time of year. We too started our bargaining season yesterday with opening with some good conversations and just good talk back and forth. We're hoping to continue the good and bring stuff to our units members as well. And Paula Bossler is our new lead for this year. Dave stepped down and Paula is on there. TTEA has a tentative social plan for November 19th. If it is a go, I'm still waiting to hear from a couple sites. If it is a go, we'll send an invite out. It's over here at Zano's from, I think, 4:30 to 7. So we're hoping that if that goes through, people are trying to put it in with conference night, all that good stuff. So other than that, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Erin. That was good. But good feedback on that professional development. I think that was great for a lot of people, but that timing might not have been the best. But does the cabinet or anyone have to pull anything from the consent?
Not from staff.
And sorry, that was the word I was looking for. And then nothing from board. The consent agenda has 8 items that are all things that we have all previously seen. So at this point is a motion for approval for the consent.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. And all in favor, or second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Marvelous, thank you. Moving to 18.0, educational services.
Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. Tonight I'm presenting a first read of the newly proposed high school course, Law 1 at Truckee High School for the 25-26 academic year. This semester-long course comprehensively introduces the state and federal justice systems. Through rigorous research, writing, and real-world applications, students explore the intricacies of different legal divisions, master trial practices, and develop a strong ethical foundation. Designed for aspiring legal professionals at all levels, Law 1 will equip students with essential skills to succeed. Students will understand the legal landscape better through captivating case studies, thought-provoking novels, current events, and insightful guest lectures. Law 1 also will integrate CTE standards for the public service pathway, ensuring students are prepared to make a meaningful impact on society. This is a first read for information only.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I just have a comment.
Yep, thank you.
So I really enjoyed reading the description for this, and I know that it's sort of geared towards students that might be interested in legal profession, but the sort of public service aspect of this, you have people who enter into law enforcement, government positions, so I think it's just a very good fundamental class that can really open up a lot of just interests for students that may not specifically want to go into, like, I want to be an attorney, but you learn so many good fundamentals in this that really, I think, will be exciting for them to take. So I was really excited to see this.
Good point on that. I did ask as well, when I was reading the agenda, that this is being offered at Truckee High right now, but then North Tahoe students do have the option to get into that if they wanted to, or is that not? I forgot what the answer was, no?
So the course will become available for a teacher at North Tahoe High School to add if they would like to add it and they
I
have the
see.
right
Thank you.
credentialing.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right now, it's hard for because of the distance, a North Tahoe High School student to go over to Truckee would be
Okay.
difficult in the different schedule.
Okay.
But the course will become available to North Tahoe High School as well.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? Okay, would anyone care to make a motion to approve? Oh, no, info only, never mind. And then this goes back to 19.0, Superintendent Kramer.
And for this, we'll turn to Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you. These next 5 board policies, or ARs, if I could bundle them together in the interest of time. 19.1, this policy is an update to our temporary athletic team coaches to reflect the requirement that they have to be trained in the AEDs, which is the automated external defibrillator. And then the next 4 policies are very similar. They all have updates to leave language change in law to add reproductive loss bereavement leave. And so they're very similar in those policies, but they all basically speak to the same thing. So with that, these are first reads, and if you have no questions, they will come back next time on consent.
Board, have any comments or questions on that? All right, and thank you for that. I had no questions either. Again, we do appreciate getting a first read on these just because we're reviewing, so that's great. And those are only info. So now we're moving to, what do you need?
I would like to turn to our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Ed Hilton, to speak to 19.6 and 19.7.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer. Good evening, President Driller and the Board of Trustees. Tonight we present 2 revised board policies for your review. Board Policy 4040, pertaining to employee use of technology, and Board Policy 6163.4, addressing student use of technology. Driven by advances in technology over the last decade, both policies have been updated to provide timely guidance on appropriate use by students and employees. The policies refine the board's philosophical statement on technology use and reflect our district's commitment to leveraging technology for amplified student outcomes, enriched curriculum, and ensuring our students have access to and can effectively use technology tools available to us. The revisions include a modernized definition of district technology, now encompassing software as a service and AI apps. We further clarified permissible and impermissible technology practices and underscored the district's dedication to cybersecurity, data privacy, and digital media awareness through regular reviews and updated procedures. The student policy reinforces the expectation that all technology use must comply with existing district policies on academic honesty, data privacy, and copyright laws. The accompanying exhibits to each policy provide detailed clarifications regarding district responsibility and user expectations for students and employees. This is a first read for information, and staff looks forward to bringing it back for your approval at the next meeting.
My deepest apologies. I was just making the big comma there.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, any comments for Ed?
So I appreciated this in the sense, too, that it's a policy, but it's also an agreement. So it does put ownership back on the students, the staff, to read this and really acknowledge what's in there, because there's a lot of details in here, like your search history, the content, all these things that I think sometimes students in particular just don't think about. Like, no, I'm responsible for this content that I'm looking at and I'm using and how I'm using it. So I think it's really good to have it all kind of refreshed and put in sort of current context, and for students to really understand the importance of this, that yes, it's an educational tool, but you have a lot of responsibility that you have to take on yourself in using this.
As a user, yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you for that, Danielle. Anybody else? I'm glad we have it. And it's just, again, this is the reason why we keep redoing these policies, is just to sort of keep up with the Joneses here, so I appreciate all that. We look forward to seeing that back on consent next meeting. 20.0 is board business. Comments from our board. Who would like to start? Danielle.
I'll start. So we had our another governance workshop, which I thought was really productive. I really appreciated our facilitator and just the open conversation that we were able to have. And I think it shows how well we work together as a team, and how even though we bring different perspectives, that we're all really good at listening to each other and kind of hearing how we learn differently, how we work together differently, and that really came out in sort of the exercises that we did for that. So we came up with a couple of good board goals, which was on our list of things to do, and I'm excited about how we're going to work on those in the future. But number one, we're looking at student achievement, which I think is, we're here to support students, do what's in the best interest of students, and that really came out as part of that governance workshop. So I appreciate that. And then just a recognition that, October can be an insane month. Somehow, I don't know why that is, between Halloween and sports and everything else. It was like it blew by, and then all of a sudden it feels like it's almost Thanksgiving. So I feel you. I think the rest of the community does, and we'll get through it.
Thank you. Pat, how do you feel?
I feel great.
Okay, great. You're on.
So the governance workshop, I appreciated as well, and it was great that it was an all-day workshop. It gave us an opportunity to really let conversations kind of ramp up and dig into some really interesting conversations and talk about the details of student achievement, which became our number one goal. And there was a lot to talk about there, and I really thought it was great that we were able to sort of explore different facets of where we thought what directions we could go with that. So I appreciated that. Also, it was last week, the week before, I can't remember now, everything's a blur. Attended the ACMS fall concert, band concert. It was delightful. My own sixth grader is playing in his first band concert. It was great to hear him play. And all the kids played great. All the bands sounded wonderful. The jazz band was spectacular. You could have closed your eyes and thought you were listening to professionals. I can say that because I'm not a musician, and so I probably wouldn't know the difference. But they were great. My hat's off again. I know I've said this before to the band director and teacher Natalia Tomasello over there, who's performing miracles. I think really. So hats off to her, and that's it.
I hate missing those concerts.
That was great.
That is awesome. I think there's a couple of them that are on a Wednesday, which I keep asking them not to do because then we can't ever get to it. But awesome. Chris.
I think it's funny that you say because I'm not a musician, because I was hanging out with Mr. Nordby, who's a retired teacher from North Tahoe High, and he's been subbing at Truckee, and he had just come back from their performance, which he said was so great. And then he said, and there was one G note or something like that. And I'm like, dude, nobody would know that. You only know that. He goes, I know, I'm telling you, they were terrific. But it's funny, you know, like you're that, I'm not a musician and he's a musician and you guys met in the middle. Yeah, I also appreciated our governance workshop and ditto to everything you both said. And I just wanted to share the child development conference. I have a friend who attends every time we have one. She's a director of a preschool in Incline, and she's already implemented 2 ideas from the conference. Yeah, she was super jazzed about it. So anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Nothing for you, okay. I have a list. I'll go quick. I had a blast this last month. I asked, that's bad. Yesterday, I spent the day with SWEP at ACMS, and they did their forest program outside, and we had 5 different stations, and we worked with the Forest Service, we worked with Sugar Pine Foundation, and we did defensible space around the school. It was awesome. The kids, I mean, it was 7th grade, and boy, if you give those boys and girls a mission, they were running to pick up logs, like running. And then the piles they made were huge. So they went across the street, and, you know, we talked about forest health. And you couldn't see the amount of stuff underneath, but when we made these huge piles, like every class made a pile, and so there's 5 big piles out there. It was awesome. Very excited for SWEP. They did a fantastic job. A lot of work to set it up, but just a lot of fun things. The kids had a blast. I did drive to the UNR anatomy building with North Tahoe. Saw some amazing things, like definitely cadavers. So your first year as a med student, you have a cadaver. So we saw the cadavers, and then we did talk about what it was that we were going to see. But they had an arm, they had a leg, they had a heart, a lung. Kids all put gloves on, and we touched and looked, and it's crazy. Then the craziest was in the middle. They opened up this box, and then the 2 doctors pulled down. It's like in those movies. Pull down this levers, and up comes out of the solution this body. I'm like, whoa. But it was crazy cool. Those guys were awesome. It was definitely a good experience for the kids who wanted, there was a book that they gave us that wanted to learn about medical. And it could have been anesthesiology, it could have been phlebotomy, it could be anything where it wasn't just necessarily being a doctor. So they told you that there were so many things to go into if you wanted to go in, so that the marketing guy was, trying to encourage the kids to apply. But it was awesome, amazing. I sat longer in traffic in Tahoe City than I did for the whole drive down. I don't know what was going on. Measure AACC meeting at North Tahoe. Each time we do one of those meetings, we ask a school to present what they're using their funds for. So we do get presentations from both, like 2 different schools each time, just to highlight what each school is getting their AA money for and what they are spending it on. And then a big shout out to Amber for doing such a big, huge PR push on all of Measure A. I mean, we're getting it started out now, which is phenomenal, but it was huge. There's a lot of things that are out there, and like the little short flyer that says what Measure A is doing. But just really thank you for that, because that was again, of course, my request. I wanted more knowledge so we don't lose it, but you jumped on that with both feet. Went and did a tour of cells with Kirsten, and it was an eye-opening experience. That campus, you would never know what's behind it. I had no idea. Like, there's tons of outdoor area. And they do a lot with going places. Like, they get to go on field trips in a lot of different places. So it was interesting to see, and then also talk to them about how they were able to do that. So that was definitely interesting. And since it is our charter school, I felt it was something that I needed just to look at and see, just because I'm always questioning what a charter school is doing and is it the best for our community. But this is the one that we own, so just wanted to make sure I was on board with that. Trustee dinner, we talked about that last time, didn't we? Yes. We went down and did a trustee dinner in Roseville, which we always do, and well, appreciate everybody that went down with us. And
Congratulations.
I got a little
What
award.
did we do at the trustee dinner?
We got an award at the trustee dinner, which I was going to bring, but I got the outstanding trustee for 2024 for Placer County.
That's right.
Very exciting. And then so did Paul Bancroft from Sierra College. So he and I got to celebrate together. But yes, thank you very much for, I don't know how you guys all did it, but thank you for that. And then the last thing I do want to say is that I really, really, really appreciated that board governance. I think that was long overdue, and really respect the fact that each one of you are so different and have such great input, but at very different levels, but everyone is going for that same student achievement. But I think it's so important that everybody listens to everybody, that we respect each other's differences and expertise. Like, I look at you as expertises in all your fields, and I was impressed. I think we are an awesome team. It's come a long way, but I do appreciate the fact that Seppi was able to say, you know, how do we move forward? Because I think we're really, really good, but I know things are definitely different, and I just want to make sure that we all are on board with making those changes, and I think everyone's keen on that. Trying to work together to make sure that we aren't hit, you know, broadsided. But anyway, I had an awesome week, but there's so many amazing things, and again, I think I'm highlighting what you just said in terms of so much going on. But, you know, it's hard because we back it in the fall and the spring because the winters are just a tough. So maybe we just won't have school in October, just have playtime.
Jeez.
With that, 7:02.